Hello, everyone, and welcome, and thank you for participating in the rebuilding of the Mass CEC Production Tracking System, also known as the PTS. We thank you for joining, and we're going to first ask for each of you to take the poll that we have over to the side. You can use the drop-down, hit launch, and just select the role that you play within the PTS database if you currently have a role, whether it be the owner, the DAS provider, reporter, or the GIS account holder. That will be useful information as we record those that are participating and the role that you play in the PTS, if you do. So in this webinar, currently we are being recorded, and we are also recording the questions that are being asked. And so we ask that you freely ask your questions, and we're going to make note of those questions and try to answer some of them at the end of this webinar, as well as provide a published Q&A for everything that's collected here. We ask that you be patient with us as we'll be sharing our screen shortly. So if you give us a few moments, we'll share our screen with you as well. So thank you for your patience. You should all now be able to see the screen. We are now sharing the screen. So again, welcome and thank you for participating. Some of you have been a part of the Mass CEC PTS platform for many, many years, and so you have seen some of our enhancements. But to bring our system to date, we are in the process of not only rebuilding our system to be more efficient, but we're also enhancing the database. And so we wanted to get your input while we're doing so, and therefore we've sent out a survey that many of you have completed, and we thank you for that. But the purpose of this webinar is to not only sort of go over what we're doing, but also getting your feedback. And so for those of you who would ask questions, we thank you for those questions, because that will help us give feedback in terms of what are some of your concerns as we're rebuilding the database. So going to our agenda for this next hour. One of the things that we've heard from the survey results thus far is that there are many system owners who are not aware of the PTS database, that you have not logged in and taken a look at your systems. And so we're going to have a brief walkthrough so that you can see that you can actually log on and look at your system, even if you're not reporting for that system because you have a DAS provider or you're working with an aggregator. So we'll do a brief walkthrough, and then we're going to have our vendor share with you some initial results from the survey, and then we'll begin to answer some of your questions at the end. So now we'll switch over to the PTS platform. So this is your landing page. You can go to pts-masscec.com, and you can log in and review your system. If you're not aware of your login information, you can contact Mass CEC PTS customer service, and they can assist you in getting that information. So once you've logged into the database, this is your home page, and on this page, there's just some general information that's provided here in regards to the reporting quarter. When we report to NEPL GIS, we try to keep you updated on maintenance taking place in the database on this home landing page. But if you look to the top, you'll see we have view system information, view production data, reports, help, and then you can log off. The only additional tab that's not here that's available to our users would be enter production, and enter production is available to those who report production to the database. So it would be, if you're an owner and a reporter, you would have that tab there, or if you're a GIS account, a reporter for the system. So quickly, we'll take a look at the view system information. Select the drop down and all systems, view refresh. So you do have to hit view refresh if you're not able to see a system there, but you know that you're tied to a system. And so if we look at the details for the system, you'll see that you land on a general page that talks about whether or not your system have received a rebate, So in this case, this is a non-REC funding, meaning it's a non-Mass CEC funded program, but it is a solar renewable SREC 2 program. So this is general information about the system. The next tab would be the owner tab, or you can use the next. And so here you'll see who's named as the owner for the system, who's also reporting for the system, and who's named as the GIS account holder. So in this case, the VHB owner is the system owner. The GIS account holder is also known as an aggregator in the industry, and so that person is the one that you would contact in regards to SRECs for your system. Further down, there's some SREC information, just where your system is registered, the information that's registered at the NEPOOL GIS will report your production for your SRECs. Next, we'll go to, this is the representative is the person that reports, so whether it's you as a system owner or a DAS provider, here you find the contact information to follow up on that information, on your system regarding reporting. Next is the actual physical address for your system, and this does not change from the time that you were registered in the database, but just information that's provided for you. Next would be the equipment information, and so if there's any information here that's not correct, if your system has been updated and it's not reflected here, you'd want to contact the PTS customer service to be able to share that updated information. Again, you have the panel, the inverter, the meter information, the system size, and some additional information that's provided here. If anything that's here that's not tied to your system currently, we do ask that you provide that information and give us updated information. And the last page is just the installation. So if you had received a rebate from Mass CEC, it would be provided on this page. Your installer is also listed here, and the date that your system was installed. So this is a view system information that if you have not logged into PTS and you are tied to a system, and if you receive the email for this survey, you are tied to a system, then you can access your system via the masscec-pts.com login page and contact customer support if you need assistance receiving your login. I'll share with you also the View Production tab. So not only are you able to see your system information, but if we plug in a system ID here, the A2, and look at 2017 current. So you can select a date range, so you have to hit date range. And view refresh, you have to select that to be able to pull the data in. So as this is refreshing. So on this page, we're able to see a summary of your production that's been reported by your DAS provider or yourself. And if I click on the actual system data, here you'll see that this system reported only once to the database, and they reported on December 5th of 2017. They had 1,000 kilowatt hour reported, and because they were eligible from October, the database automatically prorated that production back. And so this production will be reported to NEPOOL GIS a quarter later. So because this is quarter 4, it would be reported to the NEPOOL GIS in April. And in April, because there's actually a full 1,000 kilowatt hour reported to NEPOOL GIS, one SREC would be generated in the month of April. Actually, NEPOOL GIS would generate that SREC April 15th. So again, we report to NEPOOL GIS a quarter later, and NEPOOL GIS then generates the RECs, and then your aggregator takes time to actually sell that REC in the market and then issue you a check. So that is the process. In addition to the view system, view production, enter production if you're reporting for your system, you also have a report tab, and so reports are available for the aggregator or the GIS account holder and the DAS providers. So this is a summary for someone who's an GIS account holder, so they can see all their system information in regards to the quarter, what was reported to NEPOOL GIS. And so this, again, this is just a brief walkthrough we'll answer any additional questions about this process for you if you have not accessed the PTS and you still have some questions. So we're going to go back to our PowerPoint. And at this, you can go to the next tab. I am going to turn this over to our vendor who is working with us to rebuild the PTS. And again, we're hoping to get your feedback so that we can better enhance this platform.
Thanks, Erica. So what we'd like to do now is just walk you through some of the preliminary survey results. At the time when we put this presentation together, we had about 811 responses. We checked earlier this morning, and we're over 900 responses. So what we thought we would do is just share out a summary of the information that's come in to date. Once we close out the survey, we will be going through, we'll be analyzing this data, and we'll publish the results out either through the PTS website, or there'll be an email notification. Okay, so just some quick statistics here. So we've had 811 responses. Most of those responses, how do you report your production? The large majority, 536, responded back as they manually report into the system, and just 195 auto report. In addition to that, when we asked the question, are you a third-party owner, only 149 were yeses and 662 were no's. So again, we're just providing some.
So can I just give answer one question? One of the main questions was, some of you may not have known what a third-party owner is, and that's when your system is being leased out. So someone like SolarCity and Vivint, the system may reside at your home, but they're the ones that had purchased the system for your home, and in this case, SolarCity or Vivint would be a third-party owner for your system. So hopefully that's helpful information. Thank you.
Okay. And then some of the other questions that we asked, what is the primary system oversight role that you have in the PTS? And again, the large majority were owners who responded, 758 out of the 811. So if we look at, how many of the responses, again, when you look at the systems, the number of systems that you manage within the database, a large majority of them were in the 1 to 100 range. So again, mainly single owners. And then in terms of getting at some of the information that you thought was, was that information helpful that was provided to you on the website? So in terms of the reporting your production, a majority of you felt that the information that was provided on the website was helpful or very helpful if you combine those two categories. So just a few responses came back as not being helpful. And again, same question in regards to the information that's provided when you go to register your system. Is the help, is it helpful to you? And again, a lot of these 320 sites, the information, you were not familiar with it. So as we go through these results, we're looking at areas where we can improve upon the information made available to you. So hopefully in the future, you will be familiar with the information on reporting your system. But if we take away that category, again, the majority of you felt that the information was helpful. And then in terms of the information regarding data and reports, similarly, somewhat helpful and helpful were the two dominant categories. The minority definitely was, not helpful in this case. And then in terms of the SHREC reporting requirements, many of you, a majority of you, felt that the information was helpful. So 248 respondees felt that that information was helpful. So as you know, because you filled out the survey, we did ask an open-ended question, so just general survey comments. And we are going through these, and we will, completely summarize them. But some of the the key points that have boiled up to date from you is that we need to do a better job of improving the notifications that you receive through the PTS, better visualization and reports. And as we go through the process of rebuilding the PTS system, that's definitely one of the things that we're going to be looking to do is increase the visualizations and the filtering capabilities, for example, within the reports. As Erica showed a minute ago, the ability to access your system information if you are an owner. So that's something that you can do right now, but it's just more of an educational issue that we need to address in making sure that you can easily access that information. Another comment is that the PTS user interface needs improvement. And again, that is one of the things that we're looking to do as part of this process. So in a few minutes when we go to a question and answer, if you have any particular feedback on the user interface, it would be helpful. But as part of our design process, we will be looking to modernize, the look and feel of the website so it's more user-friendly. Another bullet point that came up was the ability to change your username and password. That was a pretty big, pretty common request that we saw. For those manual reporters, the ability to view your past meter reading information when you report, just kind of as like your own data validation check. So that's something that we're looking at, making that information available through the website when you report your meter readings. And then simply improving the awareness of the PTS, the information on the website to homeowners. There was a lot of responses about acronyms and breaking the information down to the homeowner, so it's more user-friendly and readable. So again, that was just a relatively quick overview of the responses that we've got in. What we're going to be doing is analyzing these questions and pulling out the information that we can use to build a website that better meets the end user's needs. So, Erica, with that, I think we're going to go into the question and answer portion of the webinar. Well, it looks like the questions have stopped coming in. So
unless another question pops up, I think we're going to take this information and it will be considered in what we're doing next, and we'll keep you posted.
Thank you very much for participating this afternoon.
Thank you.